I found a friend.
I found a friend.
One who's closer.
Closer than a brother.
I found a friend. He's even closer.
Closer than my mother.
I found a friend.
Found a friend.
One who'll go with me
Till the end.
I call him Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, he's my friend.
He's my friend.
I found a friend.
Found a friend.
One who's closer.
Closer than a brother.
I found a friend.
Found a friend.
He's even closer.
Closer than my mother.
I found a friend.
Found a friend.
He promised to go with me.
Till the end.
I call him Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, he's my friend.
He's my
Oh, what a friend.
What a friend.
Can I get a witness?
Jesus.
All of our sin,
Our sins
grief,
and griefs to bear.
what a privilege.
What a privilege it is to
Ain't it good to carry everything and leave it there?
God in
He's
prayer.
my friend. When I'm in need, church, I tried him. He was right there in need. I call him Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, he's my friend.
He's my friend.
Oh, what peace
Oh, what peace
we often fall. Oh, what needless pain we don't have to
this
pay.
pain we bear.
All because
Because we do
we've got to learn to carry everything and leave it there.
God in prayer.
Want the Lord walk with you? Want the Lord talk with you? Then he'll tell you that you're his own. Oh,
Jesus.
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 friend we have. What a friend we have in Jesus.
You don't have to say it real loud, but if you know for yourself that God will make a way where there seemed to be no way, when you call on that name, he'll make things change for you. Just say it like this, say, Jesus.